What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be looking at 5 players that Manchester City could sign in the upcoming January transfer window. So before we do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout the whole January transfer window for you guys to stay up to date with here on YouTube every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. It is free to subscribe, so if you haven't already, then do subscribe. That would be much appreciated. We are aiming for 33,000 subscribers, less than 700 subs away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget, social media links there in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do leave a thumbs up, 200 likes is the aim, and do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you want Manchester City to sign in January? So we're going to run this no particular order. We're going to start off with the first player, and I'm almost certain that this player will be coming to Manchester City, and that is Claudio Echeverri. He's a soon-to-be 18-year-old central midfielder from Argentina, plays for River Plate. Manchester City did bring in Julian Alvarez from River Plate, so Manchester City already have good relations with them, and sources are suggesting that Manchester City want to do some more business with River Plate to bring him in. Now, it is thought that Manchester City want to sign him and keep him immediately back at River Plate on loan, like we did with Julian Alvarez. It remains to be seen whether it's going to be a 6 or 12-month loan. I imagine it will be a 12-month loan, and Manchester City will have that option where they could bring him in the summer here in the United Kingdom and take him from June onward, which is what we did with Julian Alvarez. Remains to be seen if that's what Manchester City want to get done, but it's seemingly looking like Manchester City want to get their business done pretty early in the January transfer window. Manchester City are believed to be beating Barcelona to the signing of Echeverri, and it is going to be for his release clause, which is worth 25 million euros. He will be a Manchester City player, and I will give more updates, of course, on that with my daily Manchester City transfer update. So I think that's going to be one that we do tick off before we even get going. So I wanted to speak about that first. So moving on to the other players that aren't so solid, that could happen, could not happen. That's what we're going to have a discussion about. So the next player, I want to talk about Savinho over at Girona. Now, he plays for ESTAC Troyes, who are part of the City Football Group, currently out on loan at Girona and doing very well. Doing that well, he's caught the eyes of Manchester City. Now, of course, this transfer becomes even more simple and straightforward because it is a player playing for the CFG, and Manchester City and other clubs in the CFG like to move players around. For example, ESTAC Troyes having a player like Savinho and moving him to Girona on loan. He's doing very well. He impresses that Manchester City, and I'm sure all the other clubs in the CFG will agree when I say this, that Manchester City are the biggest and best of the clubs in the City Football Group. So it will be the ambition of these players when they move to another club in the CFG that one day they will want to go and play under Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. And Savinho very much looking like a player that is of interest to Manchester City right now. He's a Brazilian attacker. He turns 20 in April. He's having a good season. He's doing that well that Manchester City are interested, and sources have suggested that Manchester City want to reward his hard work for this season and his talent with a move to Manchester City. It is believed, though, if any move is made, that could happen more in the summer transfer window, so from June onwards, rather than the January-winter transfer window here in the United Kingdom. Now, the third player I want to speak about is Valentin Barco, the 19-year-old left-back from Argentina, playing for Boca Juniors. Now, Manchester City, they're interested, but there are lots of other clubs interested in him as well. Brighton and Hove Albion, Chelsea, Strasbourg, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, and more. There's a lot of interest in Valentin Barco in the upcoming winter-January transfer window. Now, it is believed that he is going to sign a new deal at Boca Juniors, which is going to send his release clause from 10 million euros to 20 million euros. I was reporting back in September that this isn't a problem for Manchester City. However, sources in Argentina that have been replicated here in the United Kingdom have said that with Echeverri's expected arrival to Manchester City from River Plate, it means Manchester City's interest in Valentin Barco from Boca Juniors has gone quiet, and Manchester City are thought to be cooling their interest in Valentin Barco. It doesn't mean that Manchester City are no longer interested. It just might be that Manchester City are looking at potentially other positions or prioritising other players as well. Man City could ignite their interest once more in Valentin Barco in the winter-January transfer window. That remains to be seen, but with interest being so high and Man City cooling their interest, it is to me suggesting that Valentin Barco could go elsewhere rather than to Manchester City. Now, I would like to see, if City do hold Valentin Barco as a potential player that they have a lot of interest in, why they don't use another one of the CFG clubs to go in for Valentin Barco, because worst case scenario, maybe he won't be of the quality for Manchester City that we're looking for, but the CFG club could well move on Valentin Barco potentially for a nice tidy profit, and it allows them to make some money as well whilst not having that risk. That's why Strasbourg's name's been put out there. They're in close association with Chelsea. It stops Chelsea doing that bit of business, and Strasbourg can do it instead. Now, Manchester City, I see no reason why, if City, for example, were interested in ESTAC Troyes, Savino, they want to bring him in, there'll be some money there for them to potentially bring in Valentin Barco. I think that's something to consider, in my complete honest opinion. I can't really make sense of why Manchester City signing Echeverri, who's a central midfielder, plays in attacking midfield, being linked to the likes of Lionel Messi is what people think that his capabilities are, why that affects Manchester City making a move for a left-back. Two completely different positions. 2 + 2, I'm not too sure is making 4. We'll see. Anyway, moving on to player number 4, Joshua Kimmich. German sources, they've already poured cold water on Manchester City wanting Joshua Kimmich in January. He's a soon-to-be 29-year-old central midfielder, can play in defensive midfield, can play right-back as well. He's versatile, very much the quality, surely, that Manchester City would be looking for. Apparently had a little bit of a fallout with Thomas Tuchel, the manager at Bayern Munich, falling out of favour there. To me, he's the ideal Calvin Phillips replacement. Man City believe that Calvin Phillips is going to be leaving on loan, but Newcastle United's name's being chucked out there right now. We know that Juventus are very keen on him, but if Newcastle United come in and say, actually, we don't want him on loan, we want to sign him permanently, and they're prepared to pay us in cash in January, I think that's something for Manchester City to consider. Gives us guaranteed money rather than a loan with that option to buy. And I think that's something that could be weighed up, and that could, if Newcastle are willing to go for the permanent transfer, leapfrog them above Juventus. If they're both offering the same terms, for me, I'd be selling Calvin Phillips to Juventus, mainly because it can have no impact on Manchester City should they take up that option to buy. Very interesting situation, and who knows, if Calvin Phillips does leave permanently, City pouring cold water on them Kimmich rumours could just ignite once more. Now, the final player I want to keep an eye on is Lucas Paqueta. It's no secret that Manchester City want the West Ham central midfielder. Brazilian, 26 years old, Premier League proven. He's a class player, can play across central midfield, solves a lot of problems for Manchester City. 2 problems here. Firstly, the cost, £80+ million. Are Manchester City going to want to spend so much money in the January transfer window? Will West Ham want to sell mid-season? It becomes very difficult to get that transfer done. Smells of a summer transfer rather than a winter transfer here in the United Kingdom. The other problem that we have with Lucas Paqueta, he still hasn't managed to clear his names of the betting allegations that came out back in August that stopped Manchester City in their tracks and making a move for Lucas Paqueta. If them allegations didn't come out, I reckon Lucas Paqueta right now would be a Manchester City player. He isn't. Manchester City will want that ironing out because they will not want to do what Newcastle United did. Take that risk, knowing a player's got potential allegations against their name and all of a sudden find themselves banned for a prolonged period of time, just like Sandro Tonali did at Newcastle when they brought him in from AC Milan in the summer. And until them allegations are cleared and dropped and Paqueta's name is once more in the clear, Manchester City will not make that move. I thought Paqueta would have cleared his name by now. He hasn't. How long does this go on for? If it doesn't happen in January, he won't be signing for anybody. And if this goes on past next summer, that train could have gone away. He could have already departed the station, and his opportunity to become a Manchester City player could well have slipped away if he doesn't manage to clear his name. So that, again, another very interesting situation for me to keep my eyes and ears open for the upcoming January transfer window. Very exciting. I will keep you guys up to date daily with Manchester City transfer updates here on YouTube. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and my email if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 200 likes is the aim. And do get your thoughts in the comments below. Which player would you like to see Manchester City sign in the January transfer window? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all again real soon for the next Manchester City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.